What's up guys, how's it going? Hope you're well. Just wanted to share a longer video today, and it was about the benefits of journaling, but specifically gratitude journaling, the practice of writing that. So not only thinking what makes you feel grateful, but also writing that down, dedicating time to that. And I'm going to talk about the process by which I went through it, how long I actually went through it. So spoiler alert in the title, it's only been 7 days, but the reason why I wanted to go through it and make a video actually, even though I'm kind of a bit new to this habit, is because of the amazing benefits I was seeing. And I think more people need to do this. So that's why I'm going to make this video. So I'm going to talk about why, the process that I went through to do it. And then I'm going to talk about some of the benefits. I would have liked to have shared what I wrote down, but some of it, obviously, the more personal it is, the better you're going to find the benefits of it. So I won't share that because I don't like to overshare my personal life or my personal beliefs on this channel. That's not because I have no confidence in my opinions or anything like that. It's just, I think, if you can share your lessons and kind of the higher... So say there's a situation and you do some reflecting, you realise how the situation affected you, and then you realise the thinking behind that and the lessons to apply in a more broader context, and specifically that are not specific to that one situation. I think if you're able to share those higher learning principles, I call them higher, not because they're only a genius can think of it, but because they kind of they overarch a lot of undercurrent meanings. Okay, so I'll go into more detail about what I mean by that, but that's why I tend to not share too many personal things, because I think the overarching thing is more important. More people can relate to that, and therefore they can gain more benefit from it. So, and then you can also discuss the concept at a higher level in the comments or something, and you can really hone in on it and develop it. So that's why I prefer not to, but I am going to talk just a little bit about the experience of journaling and how actually that really did benefit me over the 7-day period. So I'm not new to journaling. I have mentioned in the past that I really encourage journaling. I think I did an earlier video, types of journaling, but I'm currently doing a course. It's called The Science of Wellbeing. It's by Yale University, I think. I'll have to double check it. I really do recommend it. I think I saw a subreddit on it, and I think I saw more YouTubers mention it as well. So I decided to check it out as well. And yes, I realise I've just added myself to the list of YouTubers recommending this course, but it's actually a very good course. It's entirely free. I'm not sponsored, but I'm just saying it's really benefited me. One of the exercises they get you to do is called Savoring and gratitude journaling. I started gratitude journaling actually a bit longer than 7 days, but then basically instead of introducing a new habit, so it would say 1 week do this, next week do that, next week do that. So once I introduced one habit, that time that I allocated to that habit, I would also introduce the second habit to, if that made sense. So I didn't have to worry about the routine. So I think I started with the gratitude journaling a bit longer, and then the process of savoring, and I kind of combined them into one, because actually as I describe them, you'll see actually that they can really go hand in hand together, and that's something I would recommend. So what I would do is every night before bed, I would sit in my bed, I would reflect on the day, and I would just go through this positive gratitude mindset and work on the savoring process as well. Now, the thing about gratitude is you can be grateful for negative things, but initially I would encourage you to start working with just the positive things, because if you're I'm so grateful, I had such a rubbish life and now I'm so much better because of the lessons I learned or something, it can actually initially lead you, especially when you're new to the habit, you can become prefixed and purely focused on those negative experiences, and you can kind of, in a way, only be forced to see the positives in them, which is a good thing initially, but then you can end up denying a lot of the pain and other things that came with that. So in that sense, it can be a bit unhealthy in the long term. And so I would suggest sticking to things that can initially only really be seen as a positive thing. Okay, so that's what I would recommend, but again, you start it on your own thing. So I would sit down before bed, I would spend about 5 to 10 minutes, not really long at all, and you'll find that initially once you start writing, what even is this? Yeah, I'm grateful for food, my body, my health, yeah, that's fine, how can this be 5 minutes? But eventually you'll find once you actually really dedicate yourself to it, it just flows, and you can actually really come out with more to say. So initially the first day was probably quite hard. I'd say I struggled there for about 2-3 minutes. By about the 4th or 5th minute, I was okay, I'm writing, I'm getting ideas down. The other thing I would actually say is stop writing, even if you've got a bit more to say. And I would apply this to journaling as well, because if you write to the point of exhaustion, I sometimes find with journaling that you start off with a really good thought, and then it kind of trails off in quality, and then you've kind of lost everything and you feel really exhausted. and then you don't really want to go back to it the next day because like, I just wrote my whole life out last night. I really don't want to go back to journaling again. Whereas if you can keep it fresh, like you start that idea, you write it, you keep enough of the concepts get written down that you can come back and recollect it. Like I always saw that scene in, Harry Potter with Dumbledore, and he's got like the pensieve or the pensieve for the French people, and he takes the thought and he puts it down, and everyone's like, wow, that's so magical. He puts his thought there, his memory, he can come back and recollect that. It seems so magical, but it's like, guys, just like write down your thoughts and experiences in the journal. It's exactly the same thing. There's no magic. So I would definitely recommend journaling, but specifically with the gratitude journaling and journaling as well, I would say just before you lose that momentum, when you're in that flow state, I would suggest to just end it there. And you might think, oh, well, I'm stopping being grateful, but no, it keeps it fresh. And then if you reread that before tomorrow, or you start tomorrow's session, you kind of realize where like I said, you get enough down of the concept that you can recollect it, but you don't keep writing to the point of exhaustion. Then the habit stays kind of unique, fresh, and you're ready to go again. So that's one thing I would recommend just from doing it. So like I said, I would sit there. The other benefit as well of doing it before bed, I don't know what it was, but just journaling before bed, keeping it brief, like I said, it really did allow me to go to bed in more of a positive mindset, fall asleep quicker, and feel a bit more energized the next day. Now, I'm not going to, just exaggerate all these benefits. Like, some days I was tired. I did have really long nights, and I would still wake up tired in the morning. It's not like I started journaling, the gratitude journaling, and after, 7 days, I had superpowers, I was flying, I never felt tired again. It's not like that, but it's these microscopic differences that I think really do add up over time. Despite having long nights and feeling tired in the day, I did notice my sleep quality was better. I was falling asleep a bit better. I was experiencing a bit less negative thoughts. And like I said, I was able to sleep a bit easier. And I think that's something a lot of people struggle with. So definitely it was a good benefit to the gratitude journaling. So I really wanted to talk also about the experience of gratitude journaling and the process of, so I told you at the start of the 7 days, well, once I had combined the savoring and the gratitude journaling together, it was a bit difficult to start writing and keep writing, and then only towards the end of the session I was getting better. And the things I was grateful for tended to be very, I wouldn't say lower, but very basic, and kind of everybody could be grateful for them. And the things at the end, everybody can be grateful for them as well, but they definitely do require a bit more. I could tell my thinking process had improved, so that's something I would recommend. So I did mention earlier I would talk about gratitude and savoring. So gratitude is showing thanks for the positive things in your life. Savoring is an experience or a process by which you look forward to something and then you plan something, or in the moment you try and experience it, but you really kind of dedicate yourself to really being in the moment and trying to enjoy everything you can. So you'll go through things like all the senses, so what you'll see, what you'll smell, what you'll taste, what you'll hear, and you really try and live through all these senses and just really enjoy and draw out that moment to enjoy all the possible life force from that moment. It sounds really wishy-washy, but it's a really good thing. So one thing, I would try and plan something to savor each day. And so at first it was things like cooking. So I remember I would be I'm going to savor this meal. And then I had to take a break from the gym. That's another story. But then when I was allowed to go back to the gym, going back to the gym, that was something else I savored. So I would look forward to an event, and then I would anticipate that event. Okay, I'm going back to the gym. I'm going to really enjoy every single workout. I'm going to really enjoy every single exercise. I'm going to enjoy feeling those muscles work. I'm going to enjoy the sweat dripping down. I'm going to enjoy feeling a bit tired and exhausted because I'm not used to working like I used to, and I'm going to enjoy feeling like a beginner again, and I'm kind of going to enjoy looking around, and once I'd be able to lift a lot more than other people at the gym, and now I really have to start as a beginner again, but I'm not going to feel put down or anything. I'm going to feel I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to savor being this beginner. So that's one thing that it allowed me to look at things in a different light, so I'd recommend that. The other thing is, a few days into savoring, the process of savoring and trying to savor something each day, I found that one of the things I was, I told you, I anticipated this, so I said, okay, I tried to plan it and be really meticulous. So like I said, the gym, cooking some things, and actually what ended up happening was one of the things I wanted to cook, I planned it at the start of the week, and then when I got to that day, I think it was Thursday, so I planned everything on a Sunday, got to the Thursday, I wanted to cook something, and it was all gone off in the fridge. I don't know why, but so I was planning on making some burgers. The meat was gone off, so I had to throw it out. And I was like, oh no, not only was I going to enjoy that meal, but I was going to savor the experience of cooking it and enjoying that. And like, I look forward to it. And now what am I going to do? But then I remember that I just made I looked at the scraps in my fridge. There was some like leftover chicken on a wrap, and I made like these really nice chicken tacos. And the process of, I actually ended up savoring the process of my plan not working and then coming up with a new plan, trying a new meal, and enjoying something that I kind of put together with leftovers, enjoying the challenge of cooking with ingredients that were sometimes a bit challenging to, as in it wasn't my initial plan, and so kind of being on the back foot. It's kind of, in a way, savoring is really like if you were to write an essay about something and you didn't really know and you're just kind of blagging, like you're really extracting what you can from like not very much. Like if you explain this to someone else, like, oh, I didn't have the ingredients I wanted and I made something else, like at a very basic level, it's like, oh, like isn't that what everyone does? But really trying to enjoy that experience and be like, oh, you know, like I was challenged to, it's like a job interview and you really have to push yourself to find like something you enjoyed in it. And by doing that, you actually do find something you enjoy in it. Like I said, I was really looking forward to those bugs, but the disappointment I felt when I couldn't make it, and then it was actually a lot less than I expected. And then the chicken tacos coming out better than I expected kind of made up for that. And then I really enjoyed the full process together. So that's the benefit of savoring. And like I said, because I would look forward to it and then I would kind of write down the experiences of what I enjoyed, so like the taste, the sounds, or like in the gym, the feeling of the muscles and the feeling of tired and the feeling of being like a beginner coming up again. I would write those in my journal alongside the things I felt grateful for. So I had one section on gratitude, one section on savoring, and that allowed me to save on time and combine these habits together so that I wouldn't fall behind on either of them. So I would say that was really good. Now, I did mention earlier, so I've gone through like a little up and down tangents through this, but I think it's really important because I've fully explained like gratitude, savoring, the benefits of it, how I did it, and just a more comprehensive guide. So just forgive me for the tangents, okay? But actually the benefits, like I said initially, when I started the gratitude journaling, I was thinking like, okay, I'm grateful for my family, friends, and I'm grateful for you know, things like my degree, just very basic things that you can just look around. Like it's almost like if you asked a 5-year-old to come up with an answer and they would do that. And I'm not trying to ridicule anyone who started gratitude journaling, because like I said, this is exactly what I started, and it can be very difficult. But like midway through the week, I'd had a conversation with some people and I didn't really agree with them, but I was able to actually enjoy, like, oh yeah, like we don't agree, but like that's okay. And then we were just able to tease each other about it and just kind of enjoy the conversation, and I was really grateful for that. And then like, so that day I wrote down like, I'm really grateful for my friends, I'm really grateful for actually the art of conversation, the ability to like articulately disagree with someone and like enjoy that moment and then kind of play off each other and just enjoy the conversation and test the concepts to a higher level and actually accept sometimes you're not going to change everyone's opinion. So already things were kind of shifting to a more higher level, like I said, not in like a higher, more intelligent way, but like it shows an increased self-awareness. And I think that's the whole point of these exercises, is to help you gain self-awareness in terms of what's going on around you and realizing like how many things you miss out on, like how many conversations you disagree with someone and you come out of that like, oh, they're so stupid, like why does no one agree with me? Like you really come out kind of rub off negative on you, but you can, like I was able to explain with the gratitude journaling, I was able to come out of those conversations actually in a much better way. So it allows you to turn positive things into negative things. And by the end of the week, I was actually looking back on areas of my life like where I was like, oh, that was so cringy. And you might have seen that video I released recently. It's called Honor Your Failures. And so that actually came from this gratitude journaling session where I was actually looking back on my failures and I was like, oh, like that was so embarrassing. Like, why did you even do that? And then I was like, well, actually, if I hadn't done those things, I would still be to this day thinking to myself like, oh, I'm only one what if away from that life that I always wanted. In reality, if you've ever tried to do something in life, you know it's not that easy. So I'm grateful that actually I did that. And then I was looking back and I was like, well, actually a lot's changed. And I'm grateful that I can say that, like I said in my video, some people, their life has come down since a certain event. And that's something to also be aware of, that advice doesn't apply to everybody. But I was actually looking back and I was thinking more and more, actually, one of the things that I'm grateful for is the ability to look back on my life and learn lessons. And then I was like, yeah, actually, I can really learn a lot from that. And other people can learn a lot from my mistakes, and I can learn a lot from other people's mistakes. So that's like a really big benefit, and I was really grateful for that. And then like I just started to experience like more joy of like not necessarily failing, but like just like I said, how I was in the gym and I was enjoying like the process of being a beginner again, relearning everything, like feeling the soreness, like kind of feeling like an underdog again and coming up. And then I was like, oh well, actually, like this whole gratitude thing, like I'm actually grateful for gratitude itself, which sounds like a cop-out answer, like I said, when you're milking the essay and you're really trying to come up with points. But I was actually like, yeah, because if I hadn't started this journaling process, like I wouldn't have actually learned to make peace with some of the failures I made or some of the mistakes I made. I wouldn't have learned how to like, of course you disagree with people in a civilized way, but it kind of always feels like you're compromising, like, oh yeah, I just don't want to create conflict, or like, oh yeah, they'll never know. But like actually enjoying the process of like, okay, like this person has thought about their beliefs and they're very fixed into it, and so am I. And actually this is an opportunity where we can both grow from it. And so I was like, whoa, okay, like I wouldn't have even been able to gain those benefits without gratitude as well. And this is what I'm saying, like from within 7 days of doing the gratitude and the savoring journal, I was going from, oh, I don't know what I'm grateful for, like I'm wearing this fleece and it's cold, and oh, I've got a roof over my head, which are very important blessings, like don't forget the basics, guys. But now I'm actually thinking like, oh, I'm actually grateful for like gratitude itself, like the human condition, my failures as like a person, and actually growing from them and recognizing I've grown from them, and then learning to make peace with them, and then like ready for the next thing, and also accepting that I'm going to make more failures, and then being ready to just like bounce back from that and come up as like an underdog, rather than experience that initial depression. Like, everyone kind of feels sad after making a mistake, it's normal, but then once you're aware, like I said, increasing the self-awareness, you're more readily able to come back from that. And it actually kind of made me look forward to kind of my next difficult period in life, because I was like, well, that's such an opportunity now to like make such a great comeback, and it's going to be so difficult, but I'm so determined to do it, inshallah. And so that really made me think like, so being able to go from like a very basic entry level to, I'm not saying an advanced level, but I would say within 7 days, the real take home from this is the self-awareness like really increased by doing those two things for 7 days. And it increased so much that I was able to, like I said, go through that arc. And because it made that much of a benefit to me, I'm actually recommending it to everyone. And so I would say, even if you don't do the full course, even if you don't look at the course, just look into savoring and gratitude journaling. Try and do that like every day before you go to bed, like I did, or find a good time, maybe when you wake up, maybe on your lunch break or something like that. Great time to do it. Never been a better time. So look into that. And if you do have time, I would recommend looking into that course, The Science of Wellbeing. It's on Coursera. It's completely free to sign up. I don't get any like referral, anything from that, so I'm not sponsored. I'm just telling you because it's really benefited me. And just skip ahead, like even if you can't go through the whole course, just skip ahead to that point and see what they recommend for that. And then also it gives you like a progress tracker, so you can colour in the charts each day. I didn't actually do that. I just kept track on it on the same notepad that I was gratitude journaling in, so I could actually look into it. But find some way to track your progress as well. That's the most important thing. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a bit longer, not really like the 1 minute shorts, but like I said, there was a bit more to explain to it, and there was a bit more I hope you gained from it. And even if you weren't able to relate to necessarily the situations, I hope you're able to see that the benefits I gained: improved sleep, improved self-awareness, improved ability to like overcome difficulty, and just like a more peaceful mindset. I think those are benefits that everybody would want to benefit from. And so that's why I would recommend gratitude journaling and the process of savoring every day. Take care, peace out, follow for more amazing content.